Welcome to Patched, Player 2's newest podcast. I'm your host, Paul James, and I'm joined today by Jay Parnas and Damo Camilleri.
Good to see you.
I suppose you're all familiar with this anyway from the Video Games Club, but Patched is basically a new podcast that we've come up with where we're going to look at big issues within the gaming industry. We're going to have a big topic of the month. We're going to look at what we've been up to in our own personal kind of lives of gaming and whatever rather random assortment of things kind of come up. And you'll see those stretched out over the course of, you'll see those kind of stretched out over the course of a month, inclusive of the Player 2 Video Games Club. So our first section that we're going to go through today is our patched notes.
Yeah, patched notes.
And that's basically us going through some topics of news. This first one, we're just going to go through one topic of news, which is the DICE Awards. So for those who aren't aware, the DICE Awards are basically developer-issued awards. So there's a big convention in the US, I believe it is right now. I'm not 100% sure of the location. But developers from all around the world have all come there. They've all congregated to kind of celebrate their own works and their own successes.
And each other's, I suppose.
And each other's successes. So the awards have played out, and Game of the Year was Fallout 4. What do we think?
Look, I'm not a huge Fallout lover, but I don't know, like, from a lot of the intention that I saw, a lot of it was the same as Fallout 3. So, I don't know if... I mean, look, technically I'm sure it's great, but I think there were other ones that may have... Well, it probably should have left them up a little bit stronger.
You rattle off the nominations, so I can...
I only have the list of winners, but I can bring that up at the same time if you like.
Yeah.
But it would have been up against the likes of The Witcher 3, Bloodborne, and a range of others.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Did Rise of the Tomb Raider make that?
Yeah, that got in there. That was pretty cool.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, Fallout 4 did well as an action-adventure game.
Did it?
With weakish RPG elements. I know that's what the game is. Please, don't.
Here we go now.
Don't judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree. Clearly, like, the RPG elements in Bethesda games have never been super strong.
Yeah,
but they've always been super cool.
Neither is their clipping. Like, I don't know. I think we're entering a time frame where the glitchiness of Bethesda RPGs won't be accepted much longer.
Just to be clear about the nominees, so you had Bloodborne, Fallout 4, which obviously won, Ori and the Blind Forest, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and The Witcher 3. That was what it was up against. No, Metal Gear wasn't a nominee.
Glad to see Ori get some respect from other devs, because that was made by, how many devs was it?
About half a dozen, I think.
Yeah.
And things to note when it comes to Ori, so it won the award for Outstanding Achievement in Animation and Outstanding Achievement in Art Direction. As well as Original Music Composition.
Rightfully so. I think that game was pretty spectacular.
It swept up a few awards, which is great. A great effort for a little indie.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't know whether I'd call that a little indie. I think...
Well, it ended up being very big. But
yeah. But again, I mean, you've got a congregation of probably, half a dozen people that, I mean, how long in did Microsoft take that on?
No idea.
I think it was fairly early, because I think the sheer mechanics of getting all those people together, but also not being together. I think they said towards the release of the game is where they sort of first met each other.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely a standout for it, though. Like that it's able to get up with the big boys and take some numbers.
Did you play any of those nominees? So Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Ori, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and The Witcher.
I watched The Witcher get played. I played Fallout. I played a bit of Ori, and I played a bit of Rise of the Tomb Raider. And me personally, I mean, I'm a huge Fallout 3 fan, and I think that Fallout 4 did enough to be different. I mean, not that you're rebooting a series,
that's
but
an interesting one.
Nice. It was like a nice feel of nostalgic and new. I mean, with overcoming things.
I mean, the big thing that kind of came out, and it's known that I kind of follow a lot of the publications and try and keep over as much news as possible. A lot of the publications full stop gave The Witcher 3 Game of the Year, and a lot of the arguments against Fallout were, like, it's a fantastic game, but it's just Fallout 3.5.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing with a prettier skin. And I didn't hear too much of that kind of new part that you just mentioned there. So,
but I think,
I'm not sure.
I think some of The Witcher was...
It's just interesting though, there's a big difference there in terms of press and the developers themselves.
I don't think really that's a huge surprise because I mean, if you think about it, I think The Witcher won a lot of people over with its story, and with its writing, and I don't know how many developers, especially if they're on say the programming side and things like that, they're going to appreciate writing as much as say technical prowess. So
what are you getting at there? Like
in terms of so if you've got not that they won't respect it at all, but I think that their priorities are different. Like if you go to say level designers build their world around what the story is being told. So they have to make that story pop, basically. Does that make sense? So for them, if someone has a story, whether it's mediocre or not, if their level design is excellent, you're going to be able to see that as a level designer. You're going to be able to look at that and say, this has been made well. You know, you can't see any of its, like, again, sort of Fallout 3's weird sort of stuff. And again, they did remove some of that from Fallout 4, which was good, and that's probably why I got that praise, because it is such a huge, sprawling environment. Whereas, I don't know, The Witcher, like, yes, it's definitely got that sort of big world to it, but again, a lot of the writing was that, but I don't know if that's from the technical side. So there's only so many of the development side, like let me try that again. There's only a few in that sort of development space that are going to be looking at things like story. Like if you're looking to award someone Game of the Year, they have to be smashing it on a lot of different fronts.
And I'd have argued The Witcher did that much more than Fallout. But I mean, that's where everyone's opinions, all that sort of thing.
Again, I'm pretty biased. I probably would have gone with Bloodborne personally because I adore that game.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like technically, it's actually quite astounding with that game because you can actually pretty much run from one end of the game to the other in a single load. And yes, the load times were...
It's a nice 1 to 2 minute long load, but...
Well, yeah, I suppose, but that's not... Like, these days, that's not really uncommon. I mean, you look at a game like Just Cause, which I'm still gutted about, but that's the thing. Like, you can run from, like, the starting area of the game all the way through to, like, the other, like, halfway through or more of the game without actually changing without loading in any more data. Like without having to sit through another sort of black screen with Bloodborne printed on it, or the updated version, which is the tooltips.
Yeah. All right. So going into a couple of different other categories. So Fallout 4 again won outstanding achievement in game direction, beating out Life is Strange, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Witcher 3, and Undertale. Metal Gear Solid 5 beat out Batman, Life is Strange, Ori, and Rise of the Tomb Raider in terms of the best adventure game for the year.
Best adventure game.
Adventure game. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. That's.
Interestingly, in the action game, Star Wars Battlefront beat out Splatoon, Just Cause 3, Helldivers, and Destiny of the Taken King.
Okay.
I'm surprised they kind of defined it as an action game. Like it is, but I mean,
which one was it?
That was Star Wars.
So, yeah, it's not an action game.
But it doesn't appear as though they have things in terms of shooters, and like they're not. It's more.
There's no
like a bit like a movie sort of classification to action, like they're broader in scope.
Comedy.
Mobile game was Fallout Shelter, beating out Dominations, which I'm not familiar with, Lara Croft Go, Pac-Man 256, and The Room 3.
I heard a lot of good things about Lara Croft Go, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, Hitman Go comes to PlayStation in the next couple of days. Presumably, Lara Croft Go will follow in time, I guess.
I've heard that Hitman Go was quite popular too.
You're obviously gutted.
Well, not that I'm gutted. I mean, Fallout Shelter was a really cool game. It had lots of fun. Got really freaking annoying, like just tedious kind of work. I mean, there was no huge payoff for it. Like, I mean, I'm not one of those kind of people that likes those kind of games anyway. So, like, I can't be too about it. But, I mean, Pac-Man 256, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking sweet. That's so much fun. So have you guys played it? It's endless Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Like, you just keep going up and up and up. And then you unlock, like, when you get more coins and stuff like that, you unlock different characters, which changes the complete map of it and things like that. Like, I mean, it's hipster whale, so if you've played Shooty Skies or Crossy Roads, it's the same thing. But, I mean, it's Pac-Man. And it's freaking cool, like, because the game is glitching at the bottom. That's what makes you continuously go up. the ghosts keep coming back, and it's just fun. It's a good time waster, and I felt that Fallout Shelter wasn't a time waster. Like, that's what mobile gaming to me is. It's filling in time.
The gaps.
On
the
your
train
phone.
trip or whatever
Yeah,
it is, yeah.
But
and
for a
that
lot of
thing,
people-
it was like, I was spending 30 to 40 minutes at a time going through moving people from their training areas and
For a
things
lot
like
of
that.
people, mobile gaming is management. So
Yeah.
you've got stuff like, you're defending your base, or you're doing whatever it is you need to do.
What's it called? Clash of
Clash of Clans, is that the one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you've got that where it's pure, it's management. Like, you can play that game completely defensively, and you don't even have to attack anyone. It's pure management.
Yeah.
It's, money management, it's this, it's that. Like, you bit of tower defense in there, but I mean, for the most part, it's just managing numbers. And for a lot of people, that's what they want, because, like, if you think about something like Pac-Man, while it's great, that's kind of too much of a game, I suppose. It requires a lot of dexterity, whereas like clicking on an object and saying, cool, give me money now so that I can upgrade my wall. You know what I mean? Like, people they might want to be laying in bed, and it's just like, I can't be fucked like getting right into a game of Pac-Man. You know what I mean? Or I want to play my trading card game instead, because I just click on the big fucking picture. You know what I mean? So
We won't dive too much deeper into it because we are keeping it short.
Sure,
but yeah,
sure.
that could be a whole other topic that we discuss.
Yeah,
at some point.
absolutely,
Mobile gaming. It's
sure.
probably one we'll do. Outstanding achievement in music, Ori won that. Character development, Rise of the Tomb Raider won for their development of Lara Croft, and that beat out Geralt from The Witcher 3, Evie Fry from Assassin's Creed, Life is Strange, Her Story. Sound design, Star Wars Battlefront 1, and no surprise because it sounded just like it did in the movies. It was incredible, the sound effects there.
yeah,
So
I've
good.
heard that.
Witcher 3 won for technical achievement and story. Family game of the year was Super Mario Maker. Fighting game, Mortal Kombat X. Racing game, Forza Horizon 6. Role-playing, Fallout 4, as you'd expect because it came out game of the year.
Yeah,
Sports game,
I suppose.
Rocket League.
Yes, Rocket
Just
League.
Awesome.
Such a good game.
Strategy,
The support.
Heroes of the Storm.
If
Or
there was
strategy or simulation was Heroes of the
is that
Storm.
the MOBA? Is that the
Yeah.
I think, look, Rocket League, just to touch on that really quickly, if there was an award for support of the year, like supporting your game post-release support, I think that game or Super Mario Maker, or maybe even Splatoon.
Or even Helldivers, actually. Helldivers received a lot too.
Has it?
Okay.
I think that'd be your little class there, and it'll be tough, but I think Rocket League would be pretty much it. Considering that most people, at least on the PlayStation, got that game for free, the amount of attention that they've put to that game post-release is crazy. And are still putting.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it received a ton of support. Helldivers got the best handheld game. Rocket League, the most outstanding achievement in online gameplay.
which is funny considering their connection issues at the start.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't
That-
experience too much of that.
There was some bad business going on. Like, that's some bad online code.
Fair enough. And then the last award listed here, outstanding achievement in game design, which is also The Witcher 3. So that's it in terms of all the awards that were handed out. All seem about on point.
More or less, yeah. I'm surprised that some games got nominated over others in some particular areas.
Yeah.
Just sort of peering over your shoulder there, because I sort of missed the boat in terms of the DICE Awards.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that was going on. But in terms of, some of the games that were getting nominated, I was like, okay. Because I didn't see Bloodborne in many of those
No, I didn't
categories.
see many categories at all.
But
and
it
yet
was
popped
in the
up for
game of the
year.
year. So that was, like, for example, and also some of the handheld stuff was a bit. I feel like there was probably more on the handheld than was really
Than what's listed
represented.
there.
Yeah, like there were a lot of decent achievements. I would have liked to have seen a bit more Axiom Verge.
Yeah.
In there, I feel like that was, especially coming from one man.
It
I
might have
feel
had it might have had a shot when it came to handheld had it actually come out for the Vita. Like you said it would.
I suppose, but like I don't think relegating it to the handheld is fair, because that game really stood up. Again,
Yeah, but it might have
this
been
is
an
a game-
opportunity for it to have gotten
This is
some.
a game made by
big public recognition.
one dude.
Yeah, it did a fantastic job. But
Like one dude made that, and I think he probably deserved a bit more recognition than that, especially from his peers, I would
Yeah.
say. So that's a little sad, but other than that, everything seemed to be on point.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, there's always winners and losers. Someone's got to come out on top, and there's always going to be some disappointments. But at the end of the day, this is an event where the developers get to come together and they get to share ideas, and the awards are just something that kind of gets tacked onto it as well. So I'm sure there'll be lots of great product that comes out just from people meeting one another and paths crossing at the event and sharing ideas and that sort of thing. That will all end up benefiting. All games will end up benefiting some way for it.
Yeah, hopefully we see some more Metal Gear perhaps in the future, or more Metal Gear-esque.
Yeah, certainly not from Kojima Productions, but yeah.
No, but like hopefully Kojima,
gets to share some ideas.
Shook some hands,
well,
shall we say.
He's working with PlayStation at the moment, so we'll see what happens.
It'd be nice if he gets some people on board and really no
share his knowledge.
Yeah. No super hard feelings against Konami, but hopefully he does a decent job of sticking it to him.
Yeah.
Showing that he's
the man.
Kojima. Yeah.
But outside of that, that was our first segment. That's patch notes. And tune in next time where we'll kind of talk about what we've been up to in terms of our gaming lives. We'll see you then.
Yeah.